What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Week 5 predictions. One can only hope that Week 5 will be as exciting as Week 4. So let's get these predictions started. First game we have is Salt Lake and San Diego. Salt Lake came off a loss. San Diego also came off a loss. So both teams are hungry for a win. We'll start off with Salt Lake. Josh Woodrum just needs to be a game manager at this point. Brandon Oliver and Joel Bonio have been heavily featured, and they've kind of created a run-first identity on offense. And they're good running backs. Maybe just feature them a little more in the run game. They need to get turnovers against Mike Bercovici, who is prone to turnovers. Mike Bercovici likes to take these deep shots downfield that are sometimes or a lot of times dangerous. Also on offense, 1 for 9 on third down against Orlando. I mean, that is bad. You're not going to win games when you're 1 for 9. On defense, you got to look out for Carter Schultz. He is a game changer. San Diego plays a solid defense. They were able to get some great plays on the quarterback. You see here on Zach Mettenberger, got pressure early and set up a punt return for a touchdown. But the problem here is, I've been having this all year, is Mike Martz, his play calling. They need to run the ball more. They are so successful on the ground, yet Terrell Watson got 10 carries and Jaquan Gardner had 9. That just does not make any sense. Mike Bercovici is probably going to be the starter. Y'all know how I feel about Mike Bercovici. He's pretty careless. Alex Ross went 8 for 18, coming in for injured Philip Nelson. Marcus Ball at tight end and Dantes Ford at wide receiver. Those guys are pretty much, I mean, it's pretty balanced. There's not like a dominant receiver, but look for them in the receiving core on the fleet. I'm going to give San Diego the edge here, 26-12. It's just because Salt Lake City's offense seems to not be able to do much, and San Diego's offense has been pretty darn good these past couple of weeks. Next game up is Memphis and Atlanta. Well, let's start with Memphis. Zach Mettenberger just needs to do his thing. He started his first game, won his first game, and he went into Orlando and played well. He just needs to keep slinging it downfield, getting to receivers, and letting their running backs run the ball pretty well. I mean, they just need to have a pretty stable run game, and their defense is so good that they really don't have to score as many points as you would think. They force a lot of turnovers, you know. They did let up 4 sacks, but the Fleet's defense is also really good. So, I mean, Zach Mettenberger was under pressure that game, but that was an incredible comeback and great play by Mettenberger. Drew Jackson on defense, I mean, he had 13 tackles, 4 for loss, a sack, 4 passes defended, and an interception. So, yeah, I mean, it's safe to say Memphis, their defense is fine. DeMarcus Gates also on defense, but 3 for 15 on third down on offense. That needs to get cleaned up versus Atlanta. So let's switch gears to Atlanta. Legends fans, welcome to the Aaron Murray Show. Now, for Aaron Murray to be successful against a tough Memphis defense, the running backs are going to be vital. Brandon Radcliffe, Denard Robinson, and Tarian Fulston are all incredible backs, and they bring a different style of game to the table. So they are going to have some production. Watch Radcliffe. I think he's going to get the most touches. But Denard Robinson and Tarian Fulston are excellent. On the D-line, JT Jones is a guy to watch too. This Atlanta defense surprised me. They played really well against Arizona. And, you know, I did not expect Arizona to not score a lot of points on Atlanta. That just kind of blew me away. But I do not see Atlanta scoring a lot of points on Memphis's defense. This is a far better express defense than the Hot Shots. So I'm going to have to go 20-11 Memphis. But I could see it being low scoring on both sides for this game. San Antonio and Arizona. One team coming off an incredible win. The other, a pretty bad loss. We'll start off with San Antonio. Held the iron to 3 of 10 on third down. San Antonio playing really good defense. Logan Woodside, to me, just needs to be a game manager at this point. Kenneth Farrow had 30 carries, 142 yards. You saw Terrell Williams, former A&M running back, have a good touchdown. Greg Ward, DeMarcus Ayers, Mikal McKay, and Alonzo Moore, they need to keep making these big catches like always to extend drives. They've been doing it all year. If they can keep doing that, then this offense will be able to get down the field and score. Keep an eye out for linebacker Nick Temple, who has seen a lot of action in the past 2 games. Also, Busby, Orion Stewart, they need to be locked down in this game again because, well, the Arizona receivers, to me, are much better than the Iron receivers, and this could be a tough game for this secondary, the secondary is very good. I'm just going to say this is a great matchup if you're looking for a matchup between receivers and the secondary. Now let's move on to the Hot Shots, a team that was disappointing. They got beaten almost every category by the Legends. Walford went 17 for 31, 185 yards and touchdowns, so not terrible numbers, but, not the greatest. They need to feed the beast. Feed Jarrell Presley. 14 carries? Really? Jarrell Presley is a very good running back, and he needs more than 14 carries for 110 yards. They need to run the ball more, in my opinion. Rashad Ross, man, so good for all this game, except for one decision on a screen pass backed up inside the 10-yard line. He decides to try and change directions and go back into his own end zone, causing a safety, giving critical points to Atlanta, 2 critical points to Atlanta. I mean, you cannot do that. Also, Josh Huff has become a pretty good wide receiver for Arizona. On defense, this defense was pretty good. I mean, Atlanta really didn't find much luck. It's just the offense for Arizona was stopped by Atlanta for most of the game. Watch out for Niles Morgan, who played for Steven Johnson, and also Scooby Wright. He made a couple good plays on special teams. Watch out for those 2 guys. This is going to be a tough game for Arizona. I mean, this San Antonio defense is for real, and they're for real in the secondary. So it's going to be harder for John Wolford to pass. For those reasons, I'm going to make it 18-15. Commanders take the win. If Arizona wants to win this, they're going to have to find success in the run game. They're going to have to run the ball more than they do. I don't think they're going to be able to pass it like they want to and get the ball to Rashad Ross, like previous games have been. Game of the week, Orlando at Birmingham. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Birmingham, so close to winning, but I don't think the problem is really the offense and the players. I think it's the play calling. Luis Perez threw the ball for 39 times, 2 picks, still has no touchdown on the year. This defense is incredible. Why does Birmingham throw the ball 39 times? This is not a passing team. We know that. They just need to have Luis Perez as a game manager. Throw it underneath a couple times. Hit receivers when they're open. Hit a couple screens. Brandon Ross, 9 rushes. Trent Richardson, 8 rushes. Really? That is just inexcusable. I think that's play calling. A lot of these teams have some play calling issues. They want to pass it a lot, and it's just not successful. 39 passes. That's just not going to work if you're Birmingham. On defense, watch out for Jeremy Falk and linebacker Benequez Brown. This D-line also is incredible. If you saw that goal line stand, you know what I'm talking about. The Apollos are the only undefeated team coming into week 5, and for good reason. Their offense is incredible. Garrett Gilbert's probably going to win the MVP. Their backfield is probably the best. Devion Smith, Akeem Hunt, Ernest Johnson. They have Charles Johnson at wide receiver, who had himself another 100-yard game. Also, let's talk about this defense coming off their best game. 4 sacks, holding Salt Lake City to 1 for 9 on 3rd down. Just an incredible game all out. And they also had to play in the snow, which would have been harder for Orlando's offense, yet they still got to win this game. I'm going to go ahead and say I think Orlando is going to beat the Iron. The Iron have home field advantage. It might be tough for Orlando to travel, but after they traveled to Salt Lake City and won, I'm going to give Orlando 24 to Birmingham 14. Orlando's offense is just too much, and Birmingham, their offense is just too little. It's anemic and doesn't score enough points. Alright YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be coming out with more topic videos as the week goes on. Probably get those out for this weekend. Let me know your thoughts below on who you think will win the game of the week. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.